Nobody deceives like an addict.
Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science, the most authentic voice in true crime. Who was the last to see Summer Wells, who was 5 years old at the time, on the afternoon of June 15th? If Candus, Summer's mother, was the last to see Summer, is she a reliable witness? How about Grandma? If Don was one of the last to see Summer, is he a reliable witness? How about Macbeth? Are we missing anyone? Well, what about Macbeth's mother, Alison Harris? And so that is the subject matter of today's episode. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do. I have found out that it's apparently very good for the algorithm if you share. So if you haven't shared this content in a while, please do so. You can also express your thanks by hitting the thank icon. And let's get started. Of all the folks in this roll call, only Alison wasn't in some sort of relationship dynamic with Summer's mother. I mean, at the time that something happened to Summer. In fact, Ellie says she had something of an axe to grind with Candus. Now, one might say that could be cause for Ellie to say bad things about Candus, and I don't think that is a throwaway thought. I think that is to some extent relevant. But it could also be a reason why Ellie wouldn't be afraid or have any reason to want to protect Candus. In other words, you might be getting additional insight, additional intel from Ellie, but one would nevertheless need to treat it with caution. So do you remember what Ellie said to Chris McDonough from the interview room way back when he interviewed the family on the porch of the Harris home? Now, I'm going to provide some reminders for the critical conversation. I'll also put 2 links in the description so that you can listen to her saying what she said in her own words, right? So at about 19 minutes, 10 seconds, in the link that I've got in the description, Ellie describes Candus picking up her son Macbeth, who was a teenager at the time, to go fishing. Now, we know they never fished, so there's already a problem with reliability in terms of the premise for going and taking Macbeth along. There's already a problem with reliability there. They never went fishing. Ellie also says the adventure ended when Candus dropped Macbeth off between 2 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. This alone seems to indicate the adventure ended prematurely. If you think about what they were actually doing, they were swimming at the swimming hole. Why on earth would you stop doing that really during the heat of the day, right? Very close to the middle of the day, which is 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m. Why would you stop swimming? Why was the swim not a very long swim at the end of the day? Why did they end up not fishing? You'd also imagine that if the plan was to fish, you've got to ask the question, and fishing can take quite a long time. You wait for the fish to bite. If they didn't end up fishing, did something happen that prevented that from taking place? Now, at 19 minutes, 42 seconds in the same clip, so around about 30 seconds after Ellie describes Candus picking up her son to go with them, with Grandma and Summer, she says the following, quote, "When she dropped Macbeth off, it was her mom, Macbeth, and Summer in the car, and Summer was leaning against 2 gallons of milk, and I asked her how Summer was, and she was," and then she nods her head, "sleeping. Macbeth was on the driver's side, Candus's side, and Summer was right there in the middle. I said, look at her, is she hot? And I said, can she get out and give me a hug? And Candus apparently said, no, you can't, quite adamantly, quite assertively. And the windows are up. Macbeth said she was alive because they were watching TikTok videos. And so if you take that paragraph on its own and you analyze it, obviously where she says Macbeth said she was alive, you actually have Ellie making a long blink, and that's just after 20 minutes, 35 seconds. Take a moment to check out that moment where Ellie says Macbeth said she was alive, and then Ellie makes like a really long blink, right? Also, all Chris McDonough says is, like, what happened next? Or what did you think about that? Of all the things Ellie could have said, she says what she's thinking, which is, was she alive or wasn't she? So the fact that she's thinking, was she alive, makes you wonder what was really taking place. The grandma sitting beside Ellie interjects, saying that they were doing this, that they were looking on TikTok when they went into a store. In other words, grandma is addressing the notion of whether Summer was alive or not by basically saying they weren't on TikTok when Candus dropped them off, when Candus dropped off Macbeth. They weren't on TikTok then, they were on TikTok at another time. So grandma's actually correcting this error, and I think it stands to be corrected. Ellie then also describes Candus going into a Walmart sometime earlier, this is days earlier, with the kids and wanting to have her cell phone repaired. When she was told it couldn't be repaired, Ellie says, I think she says the following verbatim, quote, "I guess she got mad and upset," end quote. And this is where it gets interesting. She said that Candus threatened to blow up the store and was shortly after cited and removed from the premises. This shows that Candus can be quite temperamental and in some ways quite extreme, but this is obviously assuming whether Ellie's story is actually accurate. And that's where one's got to ask, what kind of acts does Ellie really have to grind with Candus? Is that having a bearing on her truthfulness, the accuracy, the reliability of what she's saying? Ellie also says in the past that Candus confided some things about her missing sister Rose, telling her confidently that she's not coming back. I'm not going to repeat the accusation because it's basically hearsay, but you can listen to it at 40 minutes, 40 seconds, and you can listen to Ellie sharing her theory of what happened not only to Rose, but also to Summer. The bottom line regarding Ellie's version is when she sees Summer early in the afternoon of May 15th, hours after she disappears permanently, hours later she disappears permanently, Summer isn't moving, Summer isn't awake, and Summer is doing something quite strange. She's sleeping against cold milk cartons with the windows propped up, with the windows closed. Summer also seems to be propped up herself. In fact, in the video taken of her, she says to her mother something like, is she sitting up straight? Oh no, I wish you'd captured that. Finally, it's worth noting that in late July, just over a month after Summer disappeared, the Wells boys were removed from Chalet Wells for their own safety. That was almost a year ago, and now, almost a year later, the boys are still being kept away from Chalet Wells, and Summer remains missing. What do you think that means? Does it mean anything? Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.